but because they tell us the dragon can be beaten. Neil Gaiman and Corlin said it very nicely. And I do believe something very magical can happen when you read a good book. I'm a teacher. That's why I'm not talking about books. I'm talking about books because today is World Book Day. So happy World Book Day to everybody. And here in this training session, for sure, we will be experiencing and discovering new tricks and tips. Interesting, isn't it? Welcome to all in this education session of Division B of Area 21, how to conduct productive meeting. My name is Supriya, and I'm going to be your Sajid for today's meeting. Before we start the session, we have few etiquettes to be followed, requesting everyone to keep all your mobile phones and noise-making devices or applications on silence. Keep your microphone in mute. If your video is turned on, refrain from moving, eating, or drinking. Use the chat window if only necessarily. Politics, religion, sex are the 3 taboo topics we must not speak during the meeting. And for question answer segment, you can send your question to personal chat to our one and only Dr. Muniba. So mission of Toastmaster District is we build new clubs and support all the clubs in achieving excellence. And mission of Toastmaster Club is we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. So to move the session forward, I would like to invite someone who's very special, very talented, well-known, composed person, and who's famous for her sweet smile and strong decisions. Symbol of woman power, expert in counseling and consulting, an active member in Toastmaster. With a thunderous round of virtual applause, let's welcome our Area 21 Area Director, Toastmaster Dr. Muniba Ali to the screen. Over to you, Toastmaster Dr. Muniba.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Supriya, for that warm welcome. Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters. Myself, Area 21 Director, Toastmaster Dr. Muniba Ali. I'm so happy and proud to host the 10th in the 12 education sessions in 12 months planned by a vibrant and versatile leader, my good friend, Division B Director, Toastmaster Harish. And a big thank you to DTM Dr. Abdul Sattar, who has helped me to reach out this event to a bigger crowd. Ramadan wishes to all my fellow Toastmasters and friends. May this blessed month bring peace and prosperity to you and your loved ones. And please include me in your daily prayers. Ramadan is known as the month of charity. And what more could be a better charity than passing on the knowledge you have? We have such a great personality with us who has been our past District 105 Director and a man who is always ready to offer the wisest words. His simplicity and genuineness can never be missed. And guess what? He's here with us today to share his learning and teach us about how to conduct productive meetings. More of his attributes I'll keep for our moderator of the event to share with you. Humanity is in need of help at the present condition where we all are fighting COVID. And Toastmasters are in need of someone like him who will inspire us to continue in this journey, to learn to serve and to learn to appreciate those who serve. Telling about those who serve, we have our District Director 105 here, DTM Nelson Meneses, and District Club Growth Director, DTM Rania with us. Warm welcome to both of you. DTM Nelson, can I invite you to speak a few words to us about our education session? And hello.
Dr. Muniba, many congratulations for organizing this event. And this event, as you rightly mentioned, the need of the hour, and it's by someone, it will be conducted by someone whom I really, really respect and who have groomed me in my leadership journey, DTM Balaji. Wealth of experience, and I'm sure all the participants today will have something to take back home. I look forward. Only thing is that I'm with my family outing I cannot switch on my video.
No, thank
But
you.
I wish you everybody and wish you good luck and success for this event. Best
Thank
wishes.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much, DTM Nelson. DTM Rania, can you speak a few words to us about the education session?
Thank you, Thank you, Muniba, and my fellow district leaders and friends. A very good evening, and thank you for arranging such, as DTM Nelson, a need of an hour session, because it has been a roller coaster year for all of us. Still, I think we've done a very good job so far. Still 2 months to go, and I think the topic is very relevant to all of us leaders, club officers, area officers, division officers, district leaders. And who's better to present that than DTM Balaji, who's been, who's been in the fraternity for so long, before any of us. So I think it's going to be a valuable session. So I encourage all of you to be attentive. And for those who missed it, there's a recording that's going to be available for all the members to review and to watch later on. But thank you so much, Edi Muniba, for all the efforts and the preparations and having all this, all the hard work and dedication to turn this event into a huge success. I'm looking forward to it, and I hand over the virtual platform to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, DTM Rania. And Division B Director, my Division B Director, where are you, Toastmaster Harish? Can you say a few words to us?
Sure, Muniba, why not? Ramadan Kareem, and good evening to all the dignitaries, the district officers, and my fellow members and Toastmasters. First of all, I would like to thank Area 21 and AD Muniba for arranging this wonderful session. As both district director and CGD mentioned, this is a need of the hour session. It's almost a year since we have been going through this online, and the entire rule of business have changed. And I think this course will work as a refresher course for the current as well as the next year club leaders to be intuitive and find new ways to keep people still attracted to an online format. Now, while talking about the trainer, he doesn't require any special mention. As someone mentioned, he's a Langotiar not just to Omanis, but even to people of UAE. And he has adorned a lot of roles. But on a personal front, I can vouch that he's a person who walks the talk, and Division B is a benefactor to his quality of this. So wishing you all the very best, and hope to learn something new and refresh ourselves so that we keep this great movement going in full vigor and strength. Over to you, Eddie.
Thank you. Thank you, District Director, Division Director Toastmaster Harish. And to introduce our educator for today, I would love to give the screen to our moderator. He is the treasure I found, even without digging deep enough into the well of Toastmasters. You may call it a fortune or destiny. He loves the audience, and the audience love him. He would put on his best smile and delivers that impeccable speech, mesmerizing them and charming all the women he would meet. It's not only because of that awe-inspiring speech or his charm, I count him as a treasure. It's the delicate and exceptional love he expresses towards his mother. I wish as much that my children would love me as he does. So please put your hands together to welcome this man who talks so effortless, words so precious, whose confidence is so obvious. My genius, my champion Toastmaster, DTM Hariharan, with a ferocious and stupendous applause. Over to you, DTM Hari.
Thank you so much, Dr. Muniba. In fact, I for a moment was thinking, was it me? Looking behind, actually. Nonetheless, thank you very much for those kind words. You've been extremely kind, must I say, generous and modest too, I feel today, and humbled with those words of appreciation and kindness that you have showered right on such a brilliant Friday evening, even though it came a little late into the evening, but it's made my day. Now, you know what? You've got so many of these beautiful, stunning actors across the world, right? You've got, in old times, you had Clint Eastwood, who used to be considered as one of the macho men of the Hollywood. Then you had, as years progressed, you had the various James Bonds who came in, and they were one of the best actors. Then you had George Clooney who came in, and in recent past you have had so many people who come in, and they are all known as the stars, the big actors of Hollywood. Then we had Bollywood, must I say, because I come from the country, Bollywood. So you had the one iconic star, the big B of Bollywood. Even in Toastmasters, you know what? In the Middle East, we got a big B. And today, the big B at Tollywood, the Toastmasters would, we have got with us the big B, and he is none other than DTM Balaji. Now, to give you a little bit on DTM Balaji, he is one of those people whom I met for the first time when he was a chief judge, when I was a debater at one of the events. And I remember one of the things that he told me, there is something that you need to keep in mind, the weight of your words, because at times they can be piercing. And he was so true with those words, because over the years, I've only learned how to blunt that possible sharpness in those words so that it doesn't hurt anybody. That's been my greatest learning all through. For this evening, and for that, must I say, star-studded sequence of program, and must I say, those beautiful messages, pearls of wisdom, words of wisdom, let's listen to DTM Balaji on how we could make our club and our meetings more interesting. Over to you, DTM Balaji.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Hariharan. Is my voice clear?
Absolutely, crystal clear.
Thank you so much. If you receive an introduction, it should be so good that you should not worry about what you're speaking. It doesn't matter what you speak because you've already been elevated to that level. I'm not speaking about my introduction today. I'm speaking about the introduction which Hariharan got before he introduced me. Amma, are you listening? Muniba said that all the girls in this world love him so much.
I'm listening.
Yeah, see, she already set the tone for a brilliant meeting which you need to have. Now, today's session is all about having productive meetings. So I would like to stick to the subject. But before carrying on with the subject, and we have people from India also listening, welcome Jyotika. It's very nice to have you over here. We have Muscat, we have Jordan, we have quite a few places which have come in here. So Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Kareem to everybody. Henrietta, it's been a long time since we saw you in a physical meeting, because every meeting where I go, most of the times you're also there as one of the evaluators. I've got used to it. Yeah. And it's back to virtual mode. We can't help it. But before I start, I would like to say that I will be concentrating on 3 different points today. And the 3 different points are, number 1, Toastmasters is for education. So every meeting, when we have a Toastmasters meet, it should fill us with education. The second part, which I'm going to discuss about, is having fun while we are having a meetings. Because as and how we have fun, we learn more, typically as our founder has told us. And the last point, which I would like to discuss, is about innovation, creativity, improvement. Now, while we are doing these 3 things, I would also like to caution you on 2 particular parts, because I'm a person who has been born with compliance and ethics, and that's the field I have followed in my life. So point number 1 is that you can't please all the people all the while. Remember this always in your life. There will always be somebody who will come up and tell you that maybe you could have done well, maybe this was not good. It's okay. It's all a line of improvement. And the second one, which you need to understand, is that leaders are born to make sure that we do our best. And we need to do our best regardless of the circumstances, whether we have 5 people or 50 people in the audience. So whatever said and done, today's meeting, we have around 27 people over 32 people over here. Even if it was 5 people, my education session would have concentrated on the same topic. That means we need to speak our heart out whenever we do something. So let me go back to experiences of having a very good productive meeting. And I'm going to concentrate only on club meetings. And in club meetings, as all of you know, Toastmasters has stipulated a particular agenda. But what we need to do is always remember 3 factors: before the meeting, during the meeting, and after the meeting. a lot of clubs which I see in my world, especially nowadays in the virtual world, they do during the meeting, they do half of before the meeting, and they hardly do after the meeting nowadays. Now, let's take the stage of a physical meeting. When we are talking about physical meetings, we need to have before the meeting, which is called the preparation. Now, what is the reason that in Toastmasters, especially in the UAE and in the Middle East, we said, let's have a meeting once in a fortnight? There was a particular reason for that. There are very few clubs which meet once in a week. And in countries like India, a lot of clubs meet once in a week. Why did we have to say, let's meet once in a fortnight? There's a particular reason. We wanted people to prepare. We wanted people to have time to coordinate and organize the meetings well. We also wanted people in those stages to find out venues where we could arrange those meetings. So a lot of things had to be done before the meeting. And there was a slide which was being given to us every time when we took up a leadership position or a Toastmaster of the evenings on the agenda. A slide was given to us as before the meeting, what are we supposed to do? Most of the things people expect, that is the VP education who is supposed to do. Let me just cut off that concept. A VP education is always there to align you and ensure that people get educated. That means the idea of getting role players into the meetings, giving you stuff to the Toastmaster to make sure that these are the role players for the meeting is the VP education's job, because the VP education would have known who should do a project today, when did they do a project last time, so are we keeping the pace properly, and are we going towards the goals? So they give you a list of role players, and once it is given, it is the Toastmaster all along. So if you get a list of role play 15 days in advance, and in many clubs, even today, I notice these things happen 15 days in advance. There are many clubs which do it only within once a week, or some clubs do it just 2 days before the meeting. So we need to go back to what we had been doing earlier, whether it is virtual meeting or physical meeting. 15 days in advance, the list of role players should be given to the Toastmaster of the evening. And once the Toastmaster evening gets the list of role players, it is his or her duty to make sure that they draft the agenda. They think about the theme of the evening if they want to. Theme of the evening is not mandatory, but they think of a theme of the evening to bind all of them together. The subject matter should be bounded. It should be something where you get some organized and people think about a lot of things which they can learn during the meeting. That is the reason the theme of the evening was introduced. So it's up to the Toastmaster of the evening to bring the theme and then tell the role players what is expected out of them. In our days, when we used to learn initially, before I became first DTM, we used to have the Toastmaster of the evening tell us, have you got in touch with your mentor? Regardless of which role play we had adopted ourselves into. If I was supposed to do a word master's role, the Toastmaster of the evening or the VP education would call me up and ask me, did you get in touch with your mentor? Has he actually looked into what you're speaking about? Because we want quality during the meeting. So your mentor must have guided you properly. This was the thing which I used to happen. I don't know whether it happens in many clubs. The clubs which I attend, I hardly get a call from anybody. And I don't know why they do it. They don't consider me as a speaker. I have finished 3 DTMs. That doesn't mean that you should not come back and ask me what I'm doing. If I'm doing a project and I send the project objectives to the Toastmaster of the evening, even the evaluator doesn't come back and ask me, sir, do you want me to look into what you're doing, or is there something which you want us to observe while you're speaking? You should, because regardless of how many years I've been in Toastmasters, I'm still learning. So it is that thing which you need to do before the meeting to make sure that the meeting goes tick-tock beautifully and people learn a lot. So if before the meeting, all the role players are aligned, the evaluators are aligned with the speakers, the evaluators know which project the speaker is speaking about, not only the objectives of the speech and what they need to evaluate, but they also need to know what is it that you need to observe specifically for a particular speaker. For example, if DTM Hariharan is doing a project tomorrow, I will always get back to him and ask him whether it's on WhatsApp or on phone. I've got your objectives. I know these are the things I need to evaluate as per the objectives. But Hari, is there anything in particular you want me to observe while you're speaking? Do you want me to watch your movements? Do you want me to watch whether your head turns left or right, or your eyes are actually contacting people directly? Is there something specific? Because Hari will always know that there is something which he needs to improve. And when he or she tells you that, please concentrate on that and give them the feedback. So this is preparation which you do before the meeting. And while doing so, if in case the Toastmaster has a theme of the evening, and you are somebody who have to be aligned with the theme. For example, if you're the word master or the table topic master and you have to align with the theme, get in touch with the Toastmaster of the evening and ask the Toastmaster, is there something which you want me to align with you? Do you want the table topics to be in line with the same theme? Do you want the word of the evening to be in line with the theme? What do you want me to do? Let me know and I will organize things. It is the responsibility of the role player to get in touch with the Toastmaster of the evening. So what happens here? It is not just the Toastmaster of the evening who gets in touch with everybody. It is the team which starts blending together. When the team starts blending together, then you can expect one of the best meetings you have ever had. That is called a productive meeting. Now let's talk about during the meeting. You all have prepared very well. You got in touch with everybody and you're ready for the show. If in a physical meeting, you're supposed to start at 7:15 or 7:30, if you walk into the room at 7:30, the fun is lost. You need to try and be there at least half an hour in advance. I learned it long back when I joined Toastmasters in the year 1998. The first meeting when I went as a guest, I went 1 hour before because I didn't know what Toastmasters was. But at the end of it, when I wanted to join, I was told, please walk in half an hour early, because if you walk in before, the door might not be open. If you walk in at half an hour early, then maybe some of us will be there and we can all chat. We can do some social thing. We can become friends. We can understand one another. Eventually, a family is developed. A family atmosphere is created amongst the people. And when a family atmosphere is being created, there is no harm in anyone telling anybody what they are supposed to do. So try to walk in half an hour early. In a virtual meeting, in a scenario like today, at least try to be here 10 minutes or 5 minutes in advance or 7 minutes in advance. I would say 10 minutes is preferable because if the window is open, then you actually are first on the list and you start talking to people and you start understanding people. Especially for the Toastmaster of the evening, be there well in advance. If you're doing a Toastmaster's role in a virtual meeting, 15 minutes is the minimum. You need to be early because you need to watch people coming in. You need to ensure all the role players have come in, and you need to ensure that the Sergeant at Arms goes out exactly on time and starts the meeting. Because that is one thing we have learned in Toastmasters. When I say education, it is not all about doing our project speeches or evaluation or impromptu speaking. It is also about when do I start? How do I start? How do I hand over my control to somebody else? Why do we say, Mr. Toastmaster, over to you, Toastmaster? Why do we use all these lovely words when we are speaking? It's because it's not just I want to call them. It is handing over control from me to somebody else. And when I hand over that control to somebody, my job is done and that person takes over. So remember this, that in a virtual meeting, the Toastmaster of the evening is always the first one to come, along with the Sergeant at Arms who organizes the meeting or the host whom you call in a virtual environment. And then you start welcoming people, get the people, list down the people who are there for the agenda. And if anyone, for any reason, is not able to make it on time or is not able to make it for the meeting, please inform the Toastmaster meeting well in advance. Do not give them shocks, because in the last minute, when they are prepared so well, if somebody drops out or somebody doesn't come, then they'll have to shuffle it down. And probably the quality might increase 200% because they got a better role player, but the quality may also go down 200% in that particular arena because somebody doesn't know what they are supposed to do because there's no preparation. So it's always a chance which you're taking. So if I am somebody who is supposed to give my speech or a table topic or a word master role in a meeting, I'm supposed to make sure that I confirm only and only if I can do it and if I will be available. That is why in the past, we used to read out the 10 promises of Toastmasters in every meeting. Today we read only the mission and vision of Toastmasters, but in those days, it's just not the vision and mission. We used to read the 10 promises also, because our job is to attend all meetings. Our job is to take on all role plays, which we do. So when you get into the meeting on the day of the meeting, and the Toastmaster starts, or the Sergeant at Arms starts with a flourish, like how today you had the introductions of the people coming in to speak, that itself put us on the pedestal and put you also on a high, because the speech which was delivered by the introducer, the language which was used, and the way the person was appreciated, you were ready to listen to them. You were thinking, oh God, okay, this is nice. So your spirits already went up a level high. And when that has gone high, it is the Toastmaster of the evening who comes on a high note. And when they come on a high note, they really make sure that the meeting is stupendous. The second part which you remember is making the club meeting productive is the responsibility of all of us. If I'm supposed to speak for 2 minutes, I am supposed to prepare for 2 minutes. If I'm supposed to speak for 2 minutes and I speak for 4 minutes, then I'm taking away somebody's time. It is not the timer which you require in the meeting who should point out to you that your time is up. You should start believing in yourself. You should start preparing for the particular time, and you should end it at the right time. A little here or there, like I won't say here or there, I'll say a little lesser than the time you have taken is fine, but not a second more than what you're supposed to take. So if you stick to your time and if you stick to your role play, it becomes easy for the Toastmaster of the evening to ensure that the meeting goes on beautifully. And they will not be worried, because they would have also prepared for the content in between the role players. I see a lot of Toastmasters, when they start thinking about the theme, they want to express everything they've got into the meeting. Please understand, a Toastmaster's role in a meeting is in between the role players, you get time to speak. And in all, as I have observed and I have actually calculated in my life as a Toastmaster, eventually you get around 15 to 18 minutes in total to express your views. You won't get more than that. It's 5 minutes before, 5 minutes in the end. So around 10 minutes if you get the luxury, and around 1 minute each between the role players, which is around 6 to 8 minutes. So in 18 minutes, whatever you can convey is what you need to prepare. If you prepare for 35 minutes, 40 minutes, then you're actually eating away time of the role players. Now the role players get tensed, because you speak for 10 minutes when you're supposed to speak for 5 minutes. The speaker over there will be thinking, oh God, should I curtail my speech or should I speak for 7 minutes? Because the meeting, instead of starting at 7:15 and ending at 9:30, will go until 10 o'clock, and nobody has the luxury of time. We do not want people looking at their watches. We do not want people to say it's time up and log out of the virtual meetings. We need to hold the audience. And we want to hold the audience, we need quality. We need everything happening perfect in order. When somebody looks at the agenda, they should start feeling, yeah, brilliant. 7:02, this was supposed to start. 8:02, this was supposed to start. 9:02, this session was supposed to start. Brilliant, everything is happening on time. If you start 5 minutes early and at 9:02, they start thinking, this is start at 5 minutes early, we will close 5 minutes early. You got the luxury. You got that 5 minutes to do something else. You can hold the audience only up to 9:30. Please try not to hold them after 9:30. This actually will make those audience come back to your club again and again and again. Because once they book 7:15 to 9:30, they know it is 7:15 to 9:30. If clubs are going from 7:15 to 10 o'clock after mentioning 9:30 in the agenda, believe it or not, slowly you'll start missing your audience. Those people might come for 1 or 2 meetings because they belong to the family, and then they will start saying, no, I think 9:45 I've got something, so today I may not be able to attend. Or I will come up to 9:15 and then I will have to leave because I can't spend time until 10. See, you started losing that audience. So please don't do that. So the agenda is a responsibility of all of us, even though the VP Education is the one who started putting it together. But once we are on the agenda and our name is on the agenda, it's our job to be there. The second part which all of us need to learn is there are a lot of people like us who are not on the agenda. Now, why are we not on the agenda? Because the roles were filled. In the past, it used to happen. I don't know whether it happens now. especially in chapters like Abu Dhabi Toastmasters, Dubai Toastmasters, Star of Arabia Toastmasters, and quite a few old clubs. It used to happen where if I want to speak, I would not get a chance. And then the VP Education would come and tell me, sir, 3 slots are already filled. So I'm putting you in as a hotline speaker. That means you are there as a standby. You're probably one of the standby speakers. And we used to have 3 speakers on the standby in every meeting. So what happens there is in the last, somebody drops out 5 minutes before the agenda starts or the meeting starts. The VP Education or the TMOD would come up to us and say, you were on the list as the first hotline speaker. Are you ready? Can you do your project today? We used to gladly accept it because we never used to get a chance to speak. Because if we don't get a chance to speak, then the next 3 weeks, we are not going to speak, right? So we wanted to grab that opportunity and take it. And the moment we speak and do a project, it used to go into the calendar and VP Education used to say, from now on, after 3 or 4 weeks will be your next project. But we grabbed the chance, right? We did not allow the agenda to have a blank space over there and they didn't know what to fill in. So we were there to fill in. So all of you who are there as role players who are not on the agenda with your name, please be ready to take up any role. Prepare for your projects always. Like I was talking about 19th and 23rd with Muniba, whether it was 19th or whether it was 23rd, this session would have had the same content. My mind had already prepared on the content. So when you start thinking about that content, when you start thinking about the project, if you deliver a project today, tomorrow start getting ready for the next project. Because wherever you go, some speaker might drop out and you might be the lucky one to be called and deliver your project. So that is one. Second, there might be table topic speakers or table topic master who doesn't come. Please take that role. There might be word master who drops away. So please take it because you're experienced and you can do it. Help the Toastmaster to get a healthy agenda in place. If nothing is there and the agenda is completely filled, keep smiling, enjoy watching and learn a lot from the people who are there on the agenda because learning in life never stops. We have got 2 ears and we have got 1 mouth. So that means what we take in is double than what we breathe out. So that means your learning is much, much more when you're available for every meeting and you're there to listen and learn from people in every meeting. Let's go back to that agenda which the Toastmaster has started. Now the Toastmaster has 3 different options, which I said in the beginning of the meeting. The 3 options are, make it a completely educational meeting. That means you can be quite serious. You can only talk about education. You can only fill in with people a lot of information, a lot of things which they can learn. You also have the option of making the meeting quite funny. In the agenda, you can actually fill up people who can bring in humor, who can actually make people laugh. Sometimes in the agenda, I used to see a joke master's role. Now the joke master's role is gone because I think every speaker thinks that he or she is a joke master. They want to bring humor into the speech. So the joke master role is missing. We need a joke master. We need a humor corner because people have to relax. If we have 3 serious projects which people come in and deliver, then the entire meeting will become serious because even the evaluators will be serious because they're evaluating a serious project. So you need to have somebody who brings humor in between. So please fill in those gaps. It's not just that you need to have the word master, the grammarian, the accounter, the general evaluator in every meeting. Toastmasters doesn't prescribe all these things. Toastmasters clearly states the agenda should be for education, which means you need to have project speeches, you need to have evaluations for those project speeches, and you need to have table topics so people can learn impromptu. Rest of the roles, you can change the way you want to as a Toastmaster of the evening. There is nothing mandatory. Somebody came up to me around 2 weeks ago and said, sir, is it mandatory that a general evaluator has to be there in the meeting? I said, it's mandatory to have a general evaluator because you or somebody will get a feedback of how the meeting went. But it's not mandatory for the general evaluator to speak in the meeting. The general evaluator can be silent and at the end of the meeting can send you a note of what went well in the meeting, what did not go well. It is really helpful. The general evaluator can get in touch with the evaluators and tell them, this is the way you evaluated and these are the things you can improve. It's not mandatory to do that. So you can get away with the general evaluator also if you want to make the meeting something spicy, something different, something funny for people to come back. Believe it or not, the moment you have education and the moment you have coordination and fun in the meetings, people flock together. I've seen this in a lot of meetings. When I go in, you have around 50 to 60 people in some meetings, even virtual. Why do they come? Because they come together because they have fun together. And it's a family which is having fun together. And when they do that, your meetings become all the more healthy. So it's up to the Toastmaster to arrange what sort of meetings they want to do. Sometimes the Toastmaster becomes innovative. Why can't you become innovative? Who said you should not? You need to have the 3 sessions, but Toastmasters didn't say that this is the order they need to happen. They have told you an agenda, that this is the way the agenda should be, but it's up to you to make sure that people have fun. Have one project speech, then have an evaluation, then have a joke master, and then have a project speaker, then have an evaluation, then have one more joke master. At every end of the speech and evaluation, have one joke master. So you start thinking about having fun. You don't need to have only one joke master. You can have 3 joke masters in a meeting, each one of them doing 2 minutes jokes. What will happen to them? They are thinking of jokes, they're thinking of humor. They need to crack humor which you have not listened to earlier. And with the WhatsApp generation, they start thinking about a lot of things. And the moment they think about a joke, they'll start thinking, I think in WhatsApp this was circulated. They may not laugh. And then they become creative. Their brain starts working. They start learning. Then they come in and deliver a 2-minute joke session. And in the joke session, at the end of it, when they deliver, if you don't laugh, they will tell you, please laugh. And at the end of it, they will say, I have learned something today. I need to learn the art of making people laugh. See, they too learn. At the end of 2 minutes, if they make you completely laughing those 2 minutes, you have found an authentic joke master for your club, which you can count upon anytime. He or she will make sure that people will have fun. So nobody told you that the agenda should be in this fashion only. A learning can happen. You can have fun while having meetings, and you can innovate and improvise during the meetings. I have seen a lot of table topic masters innovate when they come in the meeting. The Toastmaster of the meeting would be thinking of serious stuff which is happening during the meeting. The table topic master will suddenly come in at the time of the session and say, I've got a different way of doing table topics today. You know, at the end of 15 minutes, we would have really been placed on a pedestal because we would have enjoyed that 15 minutes so much, other than the session which had already happened for 1 hour. So which means innovation, improvement is the call of the day. Every time you improve is Toastmasters' philosophy. When I come and deliver something today, if you come back to me and tell me, sir, in these education sessions, these are the things you told us. But I really felt that you could have touched upon these points too. And when somebody comes and tells me that is a level of improvement which I need to imbibe in my education sessions too. In question answer sessions, people might come back and ask you questions which you may not be able to answer. Toastmasters is one place where you can commit mistakes. You're not able to answer. There's nothing wrong in telling them, I can get back to you, please, because I don't know the answer to this question. I will consult experts and come back to you. There's no harm in saying that. Even if you say something which is wrong, please go back and think about it. Come back and say sorry to that person who asked you the question and say, I think I gave you a wrong answer. I need to improve on that and I will get you the right answer later. This is learning, and learning should never stop. So have fun in your meetings. When you have fun, you will enjoy it all the more. We had a session around, and one more thing which you need to think of is after the meeting. Does the Toastmaster of the evening or the VP education send out a message to everybody, or at least the role players individually, thanking them for a wonderful meeting? I know in WhatsApp, a group message goes. So if you have a group of a club, a message goes in that meeting saying, thank you, wonderful meeting. It was great to be here. That is a group message. Did you go back and send a one-to-one WhatsApp or a one-to-one email to the role players, thanking them for what they have done? Did you make them feel great? Did you make them feel something important so that they can come back to your meeting on their own rather than you calling them next? So everybody needs importance. Everybody needs that treatment which you need to give from the heart. So after the meeting, try doing this. Apart from this, there are some people who carry it all the way. And I will give you an example of somebody who does it every time she's a Toastmaster of the evening. Recently also she did it last week. For the last so many years, I've been seeing that if that lady is the Toastmaster of the meeting, something different is going to happen in that meeting. And she's a member of Star of Arabia. Her name is Sumita Narayan. If she is the Toastmaster of the evening, first thing you can think of is hundreds and hundreds of messages on your WhatsApp once she becomes the Toastmaster, because she will make sure that she has a theme for the evening. She will make sure that the role players are all organized. She will make sure that she gets introductions from all of you in line with the theme of the evening. And then she has a story to narrate during the meeting. Not only that, she carries the story after the meeting also. How does she do that? For example, last week when we had a meeting, the theme of the evening was all about fruits and health. And the introductions which we had to give were 2 questions. Which is the fruit you like? And why do you like that fruit? These are the only 2 questions she asked. And we all gave the answers. In the meeting, she did not introduce us with our names or this or that, or our accolades. She said, this is Balaji and his lovable fruit is this. And this is the reason he likes this fruit. So may I call Balaji to come and speak? That's how it is. And we all had fun because we started understanding which fruit those people like. So we had around 16 people in the meeting, and we could now understand who likes the same fruit which I like. And we also can understand how many fruits were actually described during the meeting. And then she also taught us why fruits are important, what are the fruits for. But she didn't leave it there. At the end of the meeting, she said, please remember that there'll be some surprise at your doorstep soon. The next Friday, which was last Friday, she asked one of her friends to drive her because she doesn't drive. She went to each and every role player's house. Whatever fruits they had mentioned, she delivered those fruits, at least 1 or 2 in their house. Imagine Friday morning between 8 o'clock until 11 o'clock. I started getting messages from each one of them which said, Sumita, thank you for this one step further which you went and you brought that fruit to my doorstep. My lovable fruit is guava, and I got 2 guavas from her and I've kept it in my fridge and I ate it the next day. Imagine that thing which she made me feel. So next time when I see Sumita Narayan on the agenda, 2 things will happen. I'm greedy because she gives me a gift. Number 2, she makes that meeting wonderful for me to be there and listen and contribute. This is going that extra mile. My dear friends, while we have everything in our world which is written, we read books. We were talking about today is the book day in the world. There are lots of books which we read. We get knowledge from everybody, but none of the books teach you how you can go that extra mile which you need to go. They will tell you what extra mile they went, but they will not teach you what you can do. That extra mile is very, very important. And when you do that extra mile, when you do that little bit extra, your club will become one of the best in the world. I remember when I joined Toastmasters, the first meeting when I went and attended was only 8 people. It was very difficult to spread the word of Toastmasters around UAE. 8 people. And those 8 people, I was the only one who was not a chartered accountant. The rest 7 were. And then when I joined, the very next day, my friend Sujata joined. So we were together, the only 2 people who were not chartered accountants. And out of this also, you can count that 7 of them were chartered accountants. 1 of them was an MBA, which was Sujata, and I was a normal graduate. And I didn't know any of the language which they spoke. And they were fluent English speakers. But then what is the fun which we used to have? The learning which we used to have was we used to meet well in advance. And Abu Dhabi chapter has this tradition even today. Do not miss when you go to Abu Dhabi chapter, except because it's virtual now, it doesn't happen. If it's a physical meeting, they end it up with dinner. Everybody stays there after 9:30. They have to finish their meeting at 9:30 because 9:30 to 10:15 is dinner's time. And all of them gather during dinner and they socialize. They become a family during that dinner time. On a Tuesday, they tell their families, I'm having my dinner in Toastmasters, so please don't cook for me. Every alternate Tuesday food is available over there. Okay. So see the extra mile which these clubs go. So that is what we need to think of. If we want our club meetings to be productive, we need to contribute first. Like we said, in COVID-19, we are thinking of lots of people suffering in the world. The question is, what are you doing? At least are you taking care of yourself so that you don't become a burden to your family, that you get COVID and you have a problem just because you did not follow the rules? Are you wearing your mask? Are you keeping your social distance? Are you ensuring that you are healthy? That itself is the first step you need to take. So in terms of Toastmasters, if you are somebody who is supposed to contribute to your club, are you contributing? I'm now 22 years with Star of Arabia. I can vouch and I can guarantee you, if they have an attendance to monitor, please go and check they have it. In all these 22 years, I have not missed a single meeting unless I'm traveling. And the most important thing is, if you have virtual meetings now, even when I'm traveling, I attend online. I make sure that I'm there. And nowadays, when we were very, very busy for the last 5 or 6 months in office, I used to tell the Toastmaster of the evening, I cannot log in at 7:15, but 8 o'clock, I am there. After that, you have anything for me to do, I will come in. If in case you're not able to come on time, please attend at least half an hour, whatever time you can. Because in your calendar, you're marked 7:15 to 9:30 for me on a Sunday, alternate Sunday, is Star of Arabia Toastmasters. So if your calendar is marked for your club, because that is the mother club where you joined, that is where you were born in Toastmasters, you will never miss that club meeting. You are adding over there. And many people come back and tell me, sir, there are only 5 members in this club. I tell them there are 6, not 5. You're one of them. If you tell me 4 and then you, that becomes 5. If you tell me 5, that means add you, that becomes 6. So it's always something which you need to think of what is your contribution for a productive meeting. And once you have that contribution, every other person will contribute. In fact, we do productive meetings in a different style sometimes. We, our own evaluators, we talk to one another, by the way. And it's fun when we do that. The Toastmaster will not know. The project speaker will not know. The 3 evaluators talk to one another and say, let's do evaluation contest style today. Why? Said there's nothing wrong. When 3 evaluators are there, when the first evaluator is speaking, the other 2 evaluators simply go out. We just go out and stand. We don't want to listen. We would have given the judges' papers to 2 or 3 people who are very silent. Nobody knows they're judging. And we just give the papers in the audience and we walk off. So even though you're evaluating 3 different speakers, the judges who are silent eventually have to give us a paper or send us on WhatsApp as who was better, who was 1, 2, 3. That's how we train ourselves for contest. You don't need to have a contest style training meeting. You can do it in every meeting which you have. So Henrietta is surprised now. She's looking at why and how we can do this. You can. You just talk to the other 2 evaluators and tell them, listen, let's go out during the evaluation. So if the first speaker is being evaluated, the other 2 evaluators out. If the second speaker is being evaluated, the third evaluator is outside. But you give the judge's sheet to at least 1 or 2 people who are genuinely marking you and get the results from them. That is another thing which you can do. So improvisation can happen in any manner you want. So think about what your mind can say about how I can improve. And your mind is a big, big, big storehouse. No laptop or computer can store things which your mind can store. Start storing this, start bringing it out, and do not hesitate to express what is that improvisation or innovation which you want to do. Because after all, the people can come back to you and say no. Other than that, they can't do anything. I've had in my life when people come back and tell me, why Balaji, you ask in between? I said, what is the maximum they can do? They can say no, right? But I have a 50-50 chance also that they can come back and say yes. And in that yes, we can have world of opportunities to move forward. In many difficult situations in my life, I take it in a sense that I tell people, I'm still alive, right? Regardless of what you have done to me in my life, you cannot kill me. Because even if you want to come and stab me, He has to give me the time that there is no place over there. He has to create place for me and tell me, this is the time you have to come back. So even if you stab, he doesn't have place, and he will tell me, go back and live life on earth. So that is what you need to think. So if you're creative, give your ideas, let them laugh. It's okay if they laugh, because at least you made them smile. So think of it, my friends. Always think about education, always think about having fun, and always think about improvising and innovating in your meetings. And do not forget the two things. You are a leader for yourself, and you are the one who is leading yourself to do that role play which you are destined to do. And last but not the least, the golden rule. If you have 30 or 100 or 200 people in a meeting, you cannot please all the people all the while. Thank you so much. I'm ready for questions, if any.
Thank you very much, DTM Balaji. Thorough pleasure to listen to you. In fact, the points on the contest, how do you train? You do not have to have a separate contest. How do you ensure that you have fun in meetings? And more importantly, the coming in on time and keeping the meetings on time was some of those hygiene factors which I'll always look at. Thank you very much. Now, in fact, we can go in for questions. If you can place your question on the chat box, or if you raise your hand, we'll go straight to you, unmute and speak, because we do not have a great amount of a number of people, about 42, inclusive of Balaji and me, that is 42, of course. Yes, I have Vinod Panikar. Vinod, you can unmute yourself and ask, please.
Good evening. I was not asking a question. I was just saying that it's an amazing session. But as you have put me on a spot, DTM Balaji, I would like to ask one question for the online virtual meetings. The Zoom fatigue is a real thing. And what would you suggest to keep the meeting more interesting, apart from the joke master? Any one or two suggestions more, sir?
Yeah, I fully agree that fatigue is setting in, and a lot of meetings are happening nowadays, and some people attend at least around, I was attending 6 to 7 meetings in a week. Now some people attend 6 to 7 meetings in a day. Ask Rania and she will tell you. The Zoom fatigue is definitely there for everybody. Now, how do you make that Zoom fatigue interesting? You need to make sure that you get people who make things interesting. For example, if you have the agenda and you have the same type of speakers always, then some people will feel the fatigue, because if 3 people are delivering project 1, it's very interesting because all 3 are icebreakers and all of us will be waiting to listen to them. All right. But if you give a combination between the evaluator and the speaker, and you actually train them saying, okay, one of you do an informative speech, one of you do a humorous speech, one of you do something else. So every role play can be different, and every role play can be teamed up with 2 people. There is nothing wrong if 2 speakers speak together and create a project speech, by the way. I don't know, I know Vinod knows this very well. I don't know if others know. There was in the advanced manuals in the past, receiving a trophy and giving a trophy. These were 2 projects. But in many clubs, I have noticed that they got the 2 people together and made sure that both of them finished special occasions manual. Thank you, Rania. And got both the people to finish their projects together. In a matter of around 4 minutes, one finished the project of giving away a trophy, one finished the project of receiving the trophy. So you have different things you can do in every meeting. That is the issue, because if before the meeting they are prepared to do something different, it will happen different and people will come back and talk to you. Is that clear?
Thank you, sir. Yes, variety we need to add in every meeting. Thank you. Thank you, DTM.
Thank you. And another thing which I said, I said during the meeting was, you can have one project speaker, one evaluator, then have somebody who brings in, like Sumita, who brings in something about fruits. Then you can have one project speaker, one evaluator. You can bring something like Rania in between and say, teach us Arabic 1 line. Then you have one speaker, one project speaker, and then come back and say, Deepa, can you please sing? I want to sing. I want to listen to you singing for 2 minutes. See that variety when you bring, people will stick on. The fatigue will not happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, DTM Balaji. In fact, Toastmaster Soumya has written enriching, enlightening, and uplifting, trying to absorb and sink in what I just heard. Toastmaster Soumya, would you want to ask something, because you've placed your comments there? Toastmaster Soumya, if you're listening.
Shomu,
Yes, I am. Yes,
Please,
I am.
over to
DTM
you.
Marion. It's always a pleasure to listen to in any form and hear DTM Balaji speak. And well, even if he's attending our meetings as a guest, you see that there are some souls, the mood of the meeting lifts up. And I think I would definitely rate DTM Balaji, and another person whom I greatly admire is ATM Balu Padmanabhan. I mean, I feel the moment they are in the meeting, the spirit automatically is elevated. That's all that I have to say.
Absolutely. Thank you, Shomu. And Muniba, this is another opportunity for you. If you have one more session left in your series, please go back to DTM Balu Padmanabhan, who is in Hyderabad, and ask him to do an education session. And he will give you a completely whole different picture about Toastmasters. He's not a DTM, but he has trained so many DTMs in our lives. And I would like to express my gratitude to somebody here. We said Vijay Manikot introduced Supriya Saigam. I know Shomu will hit me, but I will still tell this. Shomu was an Esther year Toastmaster with Sharjah Toastmasters, right from 2003, 2004. And then Shomu got lost in between somewhere. I could never find him where he was. When I went for Supriya's meeting, the inaugural meeting of the school, when we started the club, we had Devjani over there. And then Devjani actually delivered some speeches. And in one of those area contests or area meetings, I found Shomu. Shomu happens to be Devjani's husband. And Supriya, thank you so much. I said, Shomu, I want you back in Toastmasters. Just one word. And after that, Shomu is back. Shomu has been a Toastmaster now for over 1.5 years. I would like to thank Supriya first, because she started that club. And in that club, Devjani was there. And I found a long lost friend called Shomu back into Toastmasters. See, the relationship holds and people stay with you wherever you are. This is something we need to learn in Toastmasters too. Any more questions?
And DTM Balaji, there is a comment that's coming from, this was a G done by TM Noor for DOT meeting. Dr. Muniba, that is a message sent by you. You want to throw some light on that?
Yes, DTM Hari. This was a different type of GE done by Noor Majid. She is the president of Leeds Toastmaster Club, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. She have taken complete advantage of the online platform, and she displayed it. She shared with us this wonderful thing she did on the spot. I think she has got some app for drawing this. She's an artist by herself, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. I just wanted to share, because DTM Balaji was talking about different kind of meetings to make it more lively and fun.
Absolutely. And I would add on to Muniba's words, because now with the virtual world, when we talk about fatigue, we still have opportunity to meet Toastmasters from all over the world. We don't know how creative, how great they are in their meetings. Why can't we attend? If we put our table for a weekly calendar of probably 4 meetings, 4 Zoom meetings, if we want to attend in a week, why can't that one meeting be with some Toastmasters club outside your country? Why can't you just log into a club probably in the US, in Canada, in whichever place you have, and you have those innovative meetings, watch them. Maybe there are some people who are creative, or maybe you can add creativity into that meeting when you go. They might start learning from you. But a whole big family, when it starts with 30 people, the family grows to 60 to 90. Eventually in your district, you have 500 or 600 people. That becomes a family. But you take 143 countries and all the districts together, that is one big family. And when you meet for a convention, if one day all those 143 countries can come together, all the clubs together, you will see that one big family actually taking care of everybody. And one of the things which I wish to say, which I put on my Facebook today, I don't know many people saw that or not. I said there are many countries which are suffering due to COVID. Some of them are suffering all the more than the others. It is this community which is there in 143 countries, this family. If we come together and we actually start helping people when there is a necessity, that is enough. And I can give you an example which happened just around 3 weeks ago. I got a call from my office from one of our HR managers who said, sir, my brother in Bahrain passed away due to COVID. He has his wife and he has his son. The only request I have is, can you find out from Bahrain airport whether managers can still get visa on arrival? I said, you don't need to worry. You start preparing to travel. When is your flight? He said, sir, today it's at 9 o'clock. It's around 5 hours to go. I'll be boarding the flight. I said, don't worry. There will be people to receive you. There will be people who will take care of you. And I made a call to Bahrain to one of the Toastmasters whom I knew. It was so very, very, enriching experience for 2 weeks. When I called that Toastmaster, he or she said, give me 5 minutes. They called up and they told me, Mr. Balaji, the only thing they will do is when he or she enters the airport, even though the visa is on arrival, they will do a COVID test. So he or she needs to wait for 1 or 2 hours for the COVID test report, and then he can come out. The only difference is we have already spoken to the family. We have already seen the records with the Indian consulate. The person who died, his name is already on record. However, unfortunately, his wife has also tested positive, which your family might not be knowing. So that means they will not allow this person to go into their house. They will put him in a hotel and he has to stay in the hotel and talk to the family. And if you want us to do anything else, please let us know. So I gave this communication to the person. He traveled to Bahrain and he landed in a hotel. And next day morning, they called him up in the hotel. This Toastmaster called him up in the hotel, checked how is he, what is it that he wants to do. And in that conversation, he expressed, sir, it is my brother, my own brother from my mother's womb. The only thing I want is I want to do the cremation. Is it possible? He said, don't worry, give us around half an hour. They talked to the Indian consulate, through the Indian consulate to the government. The government was so receptive that they said, it's okay, we will keep the body, don't worry. The only thing we want is please let us know how long. And then he spoke to the wife and the wife said, I have 6 more days in quarantine. After 6 days only I can come out and then let's do it together. The government accepted it because one of the Toastmasters had spoken to the government. And they kept the body for 7 days in the morgue. After 7 days, they allowed these people to do the last cremation rites. And after that, the Indian consulate also helped them to make sure that they clear off everything, including getting all the certificates for travel, including the transfer certificate of the kid, closing the bank accounts, closing all the things which he had. The PRO came into picture over there of the company PRO because one of our Toastmasters spoke to them. And at the end of it, 2 days ago, he went to Chennai, dropped the family over there into his house, and then he came back to our office yesterday on Thursday, and he said, Mr. Balaji, I would like to express my deep concern, my thank you, because last 7 days, it is you and the Toastmasters family who took care of us. You see, one call to a Toastmaster in Bahrain and the whole Toastmasters group stood with us. This is what we can do, my dear friends. If 143 countries, the people in Toastmasters get together, we can do wonders. We don't need to even move from our house. We can sit in one place and we can make sure that we call our connections and get things done. Sitting here many times now, I've been calling India to help people. A lot of things are happening in India. I've been asking Aster group of hotels, which is there over here. They have a complete network in India. Oxygen is missing in India. So they are trying their best to make sure that India is getting all the facilities. Likewise, now Pakistan is having problems. A lot of other countries are having problems. We can help them. It's just that your word, pick up the phone and say, is there anything I can do? Or if somebody calls you, do not avoid that call and say, somehow or the other, try and tell them, I will get back to you. Find your connections, get that help, and things will happen. If you don't know the Indian consulate or the Pakistan consulate here, find somebody who knows to help people. That is why we have been given this brilliant art called communication. And Toastmasters has taught us what we can do in this world and how we can take this communication to a different level altogether. Think about it.
Brilliant by DTM Balaji. In fact, this is heart-touching, nerve-wracking, must I say, when you hear stories like this. In fact, Henrietta writes, powerful and amazing. I see comments flowing in. Thank you so much. In fact, if anybody has questions, you can unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah,
Else,
I do have
I
one.
would like. Yes, DTM. Yes, DD Harish, please.
Thank you, Hari. Balaji, DTM Balaji, my question is that since there is a Zoom fatigue, as we all acknowledge, and there is a one-way communication, we don't have that personal one-to-one connection that we get in a physical meeting. What do you think of having small games, which can be in any format, knowledgeable, sprinkled in between, so that everybody get a chance to raise their hand and talk? Then what do you think along those lines? And do you have any ideas? Because we are also exhausted with the number of games. So
I am not able to get up and get you this, but I can tell you I have a number of toys in my house which Sumita has given me. Because many a times when she becomes Toastmasters, she actually gets toys and makes us play like children. You will not believe it. There is games which happen. So there's nothing, no harm in having a full meeting of only games to keep people engaged. Or you have one or two speeches in the beginning, and then the second half have games. Announce that, saying there's something different coming up. Vinod Panikkar has done this, I know earlier. You can always have games in between your meeting, and the Zoom fatigue will go away. What is Zoom fatigue? The Zoom fatigue is basically you're sitting in front of a machine and you're sitting in one place. You're not moving around. I know a Toastmaster who actually switches off his camera, but he's online and he's walking. His laptop is on, by the way, but in the same room, he's walking. And at the end of it, if you talk to him, he says, I finished 5,000 steps today. And he's listening to you. And if he's doing a project speech, he actually gets the computer to a level where he stands and speaks, or he's walking and speaking, or he will deliver a walking speech with the theme. There's nothing wrong over there. See, Zoom fatigue can be taken away the way you wish to do. So it's all in your mind. So as a Toastmaster of the evening, bring improvements, bring innovation. So you want to bring in games, gather together before the meeting, get together. See, Vinod Panikkar is walking now. See there? And he is not sitting in front of the computer. So you can improvise, you can actually do it. It's only sometimes when you have to sit and do your work. Otherwise, I think you have the liberty of doing everything. I have somebody who joined our office around 3 months ago. And when I said, what is the sort of cabin you want? Because he was at the same level as we was. He said, I do not want a chair. I do not want a sitting table. I said, what? He said, I'm used to standing 24 hours. I do that all the time. I have finished my steps, by the way. Rania, very good. Okay. So he said, I actually stand 24 hours in a day. I said, bullshit, you can't joke this to me. He said, no, it happens. I want a table where I can stand and work. I want a computer where it is placed at this level. I don't want chairs in front of me, nor for my visitors. Whoever comes to me has to stand and speak to me. Because in their offices, anyway, they have been sitting all along. So when they come to my office, I will make sure they stand. And if I have to go to somebody's office, I will go and stand and speak to them. Automatically, they will also stand. See, it's that individual who makes the difference. So Mr. Harish, you can always do it. Make people enjoy.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you very much, DTM Balaji. If there are no more questions, then I would hand over to the Area Director, Toastmaster, Dr. Muni Bali. Over to you, Madam in red.
Thank you, DTM Balaji. That was one of a kind of a session which deserves a lavish, loud and honest round of applause. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You honored us with that knowledge transfer. Telling about books, which we started with Madam Supriya. I just read from the book, Born a Crime, written by Trevor Noah, an analogy. Imagine being thrown out of an aeroplane. You hit the ground, break all your bones. You go to the hospital, you heal and move on. And finally, put the whole thing behind you. Then one day, someone tells you about parachutes. That's how I felt listening to your session. You gave a thoughtful and thorough insight into productive meetings. Thank you, DTM Hariharan, for never saying no to me and always being supportive. Thank you, Toastmaster Ajida, for being the Zoom master for today's event. You have a unique style of helping, calm, quiet, composed, in spite of being a strong support pillar. And to my division director, Toastmaster Harish, I thank you for the trust you have shown to me by undoubtedly giving me that baton to move ahead with Division B Education Series. It said, when you delegate, give away the power along with the job. Well, I don't think I'll ever come across a person like you, DD Harish. You personify a true leader. And finally, to all my audience, you are the real stars. Thank you for being there and thank you for listening. So that closes our session. Thank you everyone once more.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
You want to take a group photograph?
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
for
yes,
sure,
yes,
for sure, for
yes,
sure.
very much.
Very much. Ajita, can you do that for me?
Ajita, you're muted. You are talking. We have to all learn lip reading at this rate, Ajita. People are running away.
People are running away when we told about group photograph.
Yes. They are shy of the shutterbug. Toastmaster Ajita, my mouth is hurting.
Hello? Can somebody else take?
Teacher Supriya can take.
I'm trying
I
to
took the
take.
photo. I took the photo.
You took the
No
photo?
worries.
Thank you, thank you. Please share with the group.
Hemant Jain has already shared.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks
Thank you,
a lot.
thank you, thank you.
Thank you, DTM Hari. Actually, I could hear you, but my screen got frozen when I was about to take.
We were seeing you on the phone.
I got it.
I couldn't see anyone. Sorry. Thank you.
He was asking for help, in fact.
Then I said we need to learn lip reading.
I heard that too.
Thank you, Balaji. It was
Thank you.
a
Bye-bye.
Oh,
Thank
very
you, sir.
wonderful
much.
session. Thank you.